Thank you very much for joining me, tracking Nicole for you. I want to get to this and a very strong tropical wave moving into the Caribbean near Trinidad and Tobago. So we're going to cover that. Huge onshore flow with this system right now. Nicole just made landfall. Northern Bahamas, right near where Dorian did 3 years ago, but this is not a Dorian. Again, this system is moving, putting on the radar here, and you can almost pick out the eye. These radars shooting out from the United States, and you can see again starting to get a center of this. So just about becoming a hurricane with this system. Highest impacts now headed toward Freeport with the hurricane conditions, and then driving right into Florida as we get into tonight with a landfall just after midnight near Stuart, Florida. So plenty going on Florida, Northern Bahamas, not so much the Central Bahamas. So I want to dissect this. I know this will be a little bit small, but let me put on some of the tracks, dive into it. Right now, a tropical storm, maybe a hurricane by the time you're watching this. Winds at about 70 miles per hour, pressure 985. Point being, close to a hurricane, very close to hurricane status. Pressure could drop a little bit, and very warm water here. So the warm water here is going to help strengthen it into a hurricane category 1 soon as it passes near Freeport. Winds at 75, gusts to about 92 miles per hour. So we're looking at the winds at about 110 kilometers an hour to give you a feel for that. Then working its way into Florida, eventually coming back down to tropical storm status with winds around 63, gusts to 75. There are some structures falling into the water in Florida. For that, WFTV.com/Nicole or just WFTV.com, a great resource to get in depth in Florida. I've been tracking that there for you. Again, just diving into everything Florida. But I want to show you this. Again, model stayed in good agreement. After what has been such a crazy season, it is almost crazy how well the models have done with this system, where everything else has been really a mess this season. And I've been doing everything I can to help keep you safe and ahead of the storms. But this wind field is just massive. Now, Ian, not too long ago, about a month and a half ago, the wind field was about that again, but it was much, much stronger. This is not an Ian. Every storm is different. This one is the massive wind field, but that is responsible for that widespread surge all the way from the Carolinas, Georgia, back down through Florida, and what we're seeing with the coastal flooding, of course, across the Northern Bahamas. And this is crazy, but I just want to put on the brighter colors here, showing the hurricane force winds that will dive right into Florida, then eventually widespread wind and rain event across the Florida Peninsula, and then it gets tied up into a front, and I'll get into that as we break this down further for you. I want to show you the modeling on this. Here is Nicole. You can see getting more well-defined, huge wind field, so that surge that wraps into this, even a south side surge as well as you get over toward the Bahamas and parts of South Florida and by the Keys. This is 4 o'clock today. This system continues to work in. Worse weather the next few hours across the Bahamas. It will get better by about midnight, but still kind of rocky overnight. Then we get the heaviest weather that will work in tonight across Florida. Landfall Vero Beach, Stuart, somewhere in there, but a long duration event as it moves in. Watching out for the flooding inland as well. We'll break that down. Then there's going to be a front, as I've been mentioning. This is 5 o'clock tomorrow. So worse weather across central Florida overnight. Improving in the Bahamas again overnight as this pulls away to the west. Then a front's going to come in and help draw this large complex into a front and work that rain up to the north. This time of year, you get the fronts, and that's what we were tracking. You see that right there on your screen? That's the front that we were watching when I was talking about the steering conditions the last several videos. That's what's responsible for drawing this up to the north. And then there's going to be flooding up toward parts of West Virginia and Virginia starting as soon as late tomorrow, but more so on Friday with the higher terrain there. They're going to be dealing with flooding up there. By the way, it's kind of cold up there in parts of, I know there's a mountain up in West Virginia, Snowshoe Mountain. They're actually behind this front. They have these snow guns that they can make snow. It's going to be so cold, they're going to be able to make some snow up there in West Virginia. It's crazy to have a system like this late in the season, although it is still hurricane season. So today, 110 kilometer an hour winds, some of the higher gusts, Northern Bahamas. Our thoughts are with you in the Bahamas. And then as we get into the Florida coast, the surge, use WFTV.com if you like tracking weather. That is a great resource for you throughout the day. I'll be on there. Inland 4 to 8 inches of rain across parts of Florida, watching out for the flooding and the wind gusts. And then that wet weather getting tied into that front as it lifts up to the north. And then cold air wrapping in back behind it. All right, let's get you forward here. Now back to the Caribbean, and the reason we do this channel together is for safety, to get you, I do it to get you ahead of some of the storms. Look at some of the flare up here in the cloud cover. Some storms headed toward Puerto Rico. Watching this here, a little bit close to St. Kitts and Nevis, active over toward the ABC Islands. I know Bonaire, we've had some rain and storms the last couple days, and you see Panama still rain and storms, and then you see this right here. Look at your screen. You see that there? That is the next tropical wave. Belize, we've been in pretty good shape. Not bad. Cayman Islands, my friends in Jamaica, but that next tropical wave is going to be moving in. So let me break this down across the Caribbean. 4 p.m. today, you see some scattered showers and storms about Costa Rica, Panama, Jamaica, good shape, but here comes the tropical wave. Okay, you see it here. Suriname, Guyana, we've got some rain and storms. This will head towards St. Vincent and the Grenadines, watching Dominica, Barbados, even a higher chance of rain. It'll be a little bit more so toward Trinidad, but again, you see Antigua in Barbuda, we may even see an enhanced chance of rain. So let me get you into tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Okay, Belize, not a lot. Cayman Islands, Jamaica, same thing. But look at that right there. There's that tropical wave moving in. I'm here to give you a heads up on the flooding. Trinidad and Tobago, a couple days from now, we have a higher potential of flooding. So thank you for sharing this channel, because this is why I do it. We're going to see the possibility of flooding. Let me show you it right here. This is Friday. Let me stop the clock in the afternoon. This is 2 o'clock, and look at that. You see the brighter colors, the yellow you're seeing there? That's some heavier rain, over 100 millimeters of rain plus. So we could see over 4 inches of rain, could see 150 millimeters of rain. That's going to lead to some flooding in some spots. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, the chance of that, through Trinidad and Tobago, even parts of Venezuela and Guyana. This is your early heads up that flooding is a potential. If you're living along one of those rivers that has flooded this very active season, it could flood again depending how it sets up. And then we'll see a little flare up of rain and storms near Jamaica and pulling in toward Haiti, say over toward Jacmel by Saturday, and still watching this area here, which kind of pivots back to the east a little bit. There may be a little tropical development out of that. I'll keep an eye on that tropical wave either way. So again, a lot about to happen across the Caribbean. It's been crazy active to start November, and it's still active. That flood threat is going to be growing the next few days. I'll give you these videos to give you that early heads up. Thank you for sharing it with your friends and family. So Trinidad and Tobago, chance of rain, about 60-70% chance the next couple days. Higher though on Friday, a higher rain chance on Friday. As we swing back toward my friends in Dominica, still again recovering from the flooding a few days back. Sun and cloud mix, isolated shower storm today, but a better chance of some rain and storms by the time we get into Friday. All right, Nicole is the one out there now. If we get another name system, Owen, Paula, and Richard, the next names on the list. Thinking of you, of course, my friends and family in Florida and the Bahamas, and thinking of you as we get into the Eastern Caribbean with that next tropical wave moving in. Thank you for your comments, and have a good rest of your day, and be safe.